My next guest took a leap of faith. I took this out, embellished it. Took a leap of faith, and it paid off. She's the CEO of FM Talent Source LLC, a strategic business solutions enterprise. Just 14 years ago, she co-founded FM Talent with Mr. Franklin in 2004. Cool. The company started as a staffing firm, and today is a $15 million enterprise. Please welcome to Money Making Conversations, Dawn Hendricks.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Dawn, D.C. area?
D.C.
Tell us about the location that you're in, and then we're going to just expound from there.
Okay. So we are in the downtown Silver Spring area. We're headquartered and located there, but our services span across the United States.
Right.
So
12 states, right?
12 states.
Almost 200 employees?
That's right.
Cool.
That's right. So
Now, what exactly is FM Talent? What exactly is that?
So FM Talent Source is a professional services firm that provides services in two very distinct service lines.
Okay.
So we provide management consulting services. Essentially, that's if a client has a solution that they need,
Right.
whether that be they're implementing a financial ERP system, or
Right.
they need audit readiness services. So our team will come in and provide end-to-end solutions and services in that regard for them. We manage those services ourselves. The other business line that we provide services in is really on the staffing and recruiting side.
Okay.
And so this could be more staff augmentation,
Okay.
or this could be recruitment if they need resources to build out their teams.
Okay, so how does one, because reading your bio, you a single mom at the time, enjoying what you were doing,
Yes.
but not fulfilled. That's key. That's why I created this show, to let people know that just because you're doing something doesn't mean that you have to do it.
Right.
And then you use the term leap of faith. A lot of people use that term a lot, just jump out there. But it had to be something tied to that. What got you motivated to do the leap of faith?
So it was a couple of things. I was in a Fortune 500 company and providing my day-to-day services and having issues finding quality vendors to provide similar services, that I was actually doing for the firm. So I saw that there was a major opportunity to expound this and kind of take it on the road and kind of do this for other organizations. The other thing is that in my capacity, in dealing with actual candidates, I didn't have the opportunity to really mentor or guide or provide, additional help and support. And so oftentimes you'll see people that are very capable, qualified people, but just need a little polishing, a little support, a little guidance. And so I was like, if I did this on my own, I want to be able to guide and mentor people and help them and empower them in their careers. And if other organizations are having the same types of problems that this company is having, then this is happening really widespread. So that was kind of the thing that was the catalyst.
The catalyst, right. You saw a need,
Yeah.
and then your job was to figure out. And so you sat down with Mr. Franklin. Okay, how did that relate? Was that a person you knew before?
Yes.
How did that come about? We're just talking about the evolution of FM Talent right now.
So we both worked in the same company, doing the same type of things. We had a very huge portfolio of clients within our organization. So we would just go out to lunch and talk about the challenges and issues that we saw. And, kind of the brainstorming and kind of the light bulbs going off, like, what, we really could do this.
Right.
And could do this in a really profound way. So that's what happened.
That happened in a big way because of the fact that, so I just want to slow this down a little bit because I heard a lot of planning because I want to make sure people, when they hear the word leap of faith, that wasn't just you just going out there just said a good prayer and you rolled out there. The business plan was in place.
Absolutely.
If you can kind of like get in a little detail about that, because a lot of people, my job is to motivate people. My job is to give them the option to be successful in life. And I do hear that term a lot, a leap of faith. But it's so much more than that. And I don't want to gloss over that. In 2004, you took a leap of faith, and then 14 years later, $15 million enterprise. It doesn't work like that.
No, it does not.
So just a little bit more detail on that leap. What happened to make that leap happen?
Absolutely. So we did exactly what you described. We created a business plan and a business model to figure out how we would actually provide the services and solutions. The thing for me at that particular time is that I was a single mom, making six figures in my job, with a kid in private school.
Right.
And so
Health insurance, all that good stuff.
all
Vacation
of that stuff,
days.
I had to figure out, okay, can I really do this? Looking at my bank account, does this really make sense? So it evolved over
it.
time. It took about a year and a half
There
for me
you go.
really to determine that this was something that I was able to do. And in that time frame, I was working with an executive coach.
Yes, ma'am.
And so her role really was to help me kind of think through things that would give me a full-on holistic approach to how we could actually make this work in a practical way. So did I have the savings ready? Did I actually have a solid business plan?
Right.
What were my contingencies?
Right.
Who was the client?
Right.
How, so the full gamut around how we were going to provide this service and actually it be sustainable. So not this, thing that we're going to do a year and then next year I'm going back into corporate.
Right.
'Cause
The B
failure-
plan was not to go back.
That's right.
It was A plan only.
That's it.
Good.
That's it. So after about a year and a half, I felt like I had done all of my due diligence. I had, saved up. And I was ready. So
Okay.
and I have to be honest, we were kind of working it on the side.
Absolutely. I always tell people, you can get a better job while you're working.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So we were working it on the side. We were getting some clients in place and, kind of testing out our service
Right.
and expanding it.
Right.
And so,
Well, Don, I want you to be honest because there's nothing negative about it. I would tell you that's what I call the secret of success. Because when you're saying, you had a plan, but you had a good job. And so that's what I would tell people. There's 24 hours in a day. Learn to use each hour.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't understand that. And that's what you're saying. You're saying, Rushion, I did my regular job. I still was a single mom. I still had to be responsible at home. But also, while we were doing this, I carved out more time for my dream.
That's right.
For my passion. Now, what was the fear? There was a fear in this change. Like you talked about the salary. You talked about will you be able to meet the needs? You were not going to come back.
Right.
It wasn't going to be a 1 year wonder or let me go see. But I always got a good resume. I can go back. So you were all in.
That's right.
Where was Mr. Franklin at? Your partner
Yep.
at this point.
Yeah. So, we were both facing the same challenge, the same fear. He had a baby that, he just had a newborn. And so, both of us, and that fear was, all right, we've got families, we've got people relying
on you.
Right.
That's
So,
absolutely correct.
his wife, was a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
And, of course, me, I'm the only
Mom.
provider, right? So
Mom, dad, everything.
that's right. So we had to make sure that what we were doing was going to work and was going to last. So that was the real leap of faith. And so that's why the due diligence and the planning and
Right.
all of that ahead of time is so critical, and making sure that you've got your client base established.
Right.
And we were very fortunate, because once we decided to leave, the company that we had come from was going through a major crisis.
Oh, okay.
And they needed a good number of resources to help them through that crisis. And because our reputation was so solid, they brought us back on as consultants. And so we were able to bring on a team of consultants
From your company.
From our company.
So your first big break was the company you left.
That's right.
Girl, come on.
That was the big break. And so we were able to put about 25, 30 people on that project. And
Resume builder.
That's right. That's right. And so the thing about that is, our relationship with that firm allow us to take that and market that to other companies. And so just the name recognition of where we had come from and what we were doing there gave people confidence that we could actually provide services and solutions to them. So then we got more big name companies that we were able to provide these same services to. It was a great run, and then we had the Great Recession.
The 2008 period.
That's right.
So how did you come up? How did you? Because that's the part that we all plan for the celebration.
Right.
How do you get past the low? That's the valley part. So you can see everything with the top of the mountain. That valley part, you look it up, you can't see anything.
That's right.
How about that? Because it hit everybody. It made me weary of the stock market that period. I was meeting with my stock broker the other day. She said, "Well, that little period right there, I didn't trust anybody, and I stopped investing."
Yeah.
And so people stop investing in jobs. So you have a staffing company. That's your goal. How do you get past that period?
Well, that's right. So all of my clients on the corporate side, they were not
Receptive.
They were like, okay, we're going to roll all these people off. And so I think for us, we were really fortunate that, in the high times, we were saving our money.
But see, I got to stop you. You use fortunate, but you were thinking, you thought ahead. You were a planner, and that's why I don't want you to undermine or act like what you're doing is a leap of faith or luck. No. You knew that when you do a business, you should keep 6 months of revenue in the account so you can run your business.
Absolutely.
Those are the principles to a successful business. So when you hit these bumps, running around, worrying about how many slices of bread you're going to eat,
Right.
or how much gas I'm going to do a half a tank, like Philip on this one. And then we just kind of like drive with no air on.
Right.
Save some gas. All them techniques.
Right.
I've used all them techniques, y'all. Y'all laugh as y'all want to now. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich sound good when you got money and you don't have money,
Right.
okay? And so I just want you to let you know that on this show is that it's about your brand. It's about the success story that you created. And so when we come back, I really want people to understand the value of the type of agencies that you have, how they impacted me when I was out there looking for a job and I didn't have anything on my resume that allowed me to be hired. But your company allowed people to build resumes.
Absolutely.
Makes them employable.
That's right.
We'll be back with more Miss Dawn Hendricks, FM talent. She's fantastic, and I'm just building her brand to another level. She's a star. Money Making Conversation. Be right back. Hi, this is Rushion McDonald, and you're listening to Money Making Conversations. And next to me is the CEO of FM Talent Source, LLC, a strategic business solution enterprise. Just 14 years ago, she co-founded FM Talent with her business partner, Mr. Franklin, in 2004. And now today, her staffing firm is valued at $15 million enterprise. That's a lot of money. That's what they call it. That's why you're on Money Making Conversation. when you say $15 million, that's a Money Making Conversation. So FM Talent, tell us about, again, why it's important to you to have created that company. You did it while you were working with your other full-time job. So in other words, you look at it 24 hours. You look at it, I'm going to have to divvy some for my job. I'm a single mom. I have to divvy up time for my child. And then I have to divvy up some time for my future. All that, and FM Talent was born out in 2004. Hit a little rough patch in 2008, like we all hit a rough patch when the housing loans backfired and everything. That's when President Obama came in and had to really save this country at that time financially. And so, with that being said, FM Talent, where is it located? You have nearly 200 employees. 12 states?
Yes.
Give us a little background.
Yep.
Take your time.
Okay.
Because we want to know, because my listeners over here, man, she went from what to what?
Yep. So FM Talent Source, we are headquartered in downtown Silver Spring,
Yes, ma'am.
Maryland, and we're providing financial management and grant management and human capital solutions to our clients. Our client base, the great thing about FM Talent is, everyone really is a client, but we provide services to the federal government,
Right.
commercial and nonprofit entities.
Right.
So we really span the full gamut, and everyone needs
Staff
financial
augmentation.
staff augmentation.
Yeah.
So truly what
Big
that
word
is.
I learned,
yes.
and during the break, they whipped that word out on me. I'm going to say it first.
So truly what that means is if an organization is building out their staff and they don't necessarily have headcount
Right.
for a full-time person,
Right.
they'll bring in a firm like ours to
Right.
augment their staff. So to just build up their staff in the interim. The other thing that we are able to do is if they need full-time recruitment services, then our team really can provide those resources for them as well. So we identify, vet, and recruit people for their, on a perm placement side.
Right.
And then the third layer of that is really the management consulting side. So
Right.
that's us coming in, managing the deliverable, managing the solution, and running that end to end for the client.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just coming in, doing your thing. And then you make a presentation?
So a lot of times the work that we do, we have to submit a proposal.
Right.
So they'll want us to identify our solution, how we're going to manage it, of course, what the costs are
Right.
that will be incurred. And then, of course, we'll put our project team on there to manage end to end, making sure that we are able to deliver the service on time, on schedule, on budget.
Okay, cool. Now, let's talk about 2008. Okay, we know we were doing good. Got that first break, relationship, 2008 hit. How do you grow your business when you hit this bump? How did you? Well, okay, this is what prayer really is needed now. Okay, prayer came in strong at this point.
Yes.
And I'm not ever running away from that because faith plays a lot of motivation into how you wake up in the morning, how you go to bed in the morning, what drives you the next day. So how do you expand your business when it's suddenly starting to bottom out?
Yeah, so we had to rebrand ourselves. We had to recreate ourselves for a completely different industry market. So primarily our services and solutions were being provided to corporate and nonprofit entities.
Okay.
In 2008, we had to figure out how are we going to remain viable in a space that no longer was utilizing our services.
Right.
So we decided to take our corporate experience and leverage it into the federal government. Now, the federal government is a completely different beast. Their process, their cycle, the way in which you actually engage with them is significantly different.
Right.
And on the corporate side, you can go in, you kind of give them your value proposition, and at the end of the day, you've got a deal, and they say, let's go for it. On the federal side, you've got a 6-month, 9-month, 12-month cycle because you've got to submit your proposal.
Absolutely.
They've got to review it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then they've got to make a decision, and then you start your onboarding process. So the cycle time is significantly greater. The way in which they procure services, you've got to have all of these different vehicles available. So the 8A program or a GSA schedule. So it took us a lot of ramp up time to actually get ready to be able to do business with the federal government. But once we learned that process, we were in.
Right.
So we partnered.
But you didn't let the process push you away, though.
No.
That's what a lot of people do.
No.
You know, I hear the word people. That's so much paperwork. But guess what? That's how people. The same people keep getting the job because they're not afraid of the paperwork. But also in that paperwork, it's about educating yourself, right? Putting the right team around you to fill out that paperwork.
So, and that's what we did. So that's where I was getting ready to go. So in order to be
I cut
able
you off,
to,
huh?
you didn't.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I mean, you're forward thinking. But we actually, there are all types of free resources out there to help you complete the paperwork. And so, instead of us paying someone to do this for us, we kind of jumped in, kind of got our, feet wet and figured the process out ourselves.
Right.
So we did our 8A. I actually did the 8A, all of the paperwork for that. And then we completed the paperwork for 2 GSA schedules.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So once
this is stuff you have to even bid.
That's right. That's right. So this is the price of admission into the federal process. So once we were able to do that, we were kind of on our way. We decided to partner. And I say our first partnership experience was our best, worst experience.
I know about that.
Yeah, our best, worst experience.
But you had to get in, though.
We had to get in.
You have to get in with somebody who's in there already.
That's right. And I mean, this is how you learn. And we learned. Boy, did we learn. So we were fortunate because we were doing business with the Department of Justice. So we were able to get a security clearance. But we never got paid 1 red cent.
But you got the clearance,
Off
though.
of the work, but we got the clearance.
Oh, good.
But
good,
we were
good.
in.
You in though. You in though.
Yeah, but we also had bills to pay. So getting paid for all those services really would have been nice.
It's like being at the party, but you can't go to the bar because you can't afford the drinks.
Right.
I thought the drinks, you got to pay for drinks at this party. Yeah.
So many years later, I could say it was my best worst experience. I was like pulling my hair out during that, when we were in there. But yeah, I mean, we just continue to navigate and learn.
And that's really important. The reason I wanted to break that down a little bit more, because a lot of times when you get into these situations where you have no relationships, where you have no experience, you have to partner with strangers. And these strangers can tell you certain things. Just make sure that you create an agreement that allows you to be able to say, this is what we said we were going to do together, and hold that person to that agreement.
That's right.
And that's really how it works. Don't ever do anything on a handshake deal. Don't ever say, I got your back. Don't ever do anything on the hookup. Don't ever get in a relationship where you're afraid to ask what you want.
That's right.
You have to ask what you want, because it will come back to bite you. Because you're afraid to say, if this person is so powerful or so omnipresent in your life that you can't say, I want this, and they won't professionally say you do that, because you are bringing something to the table. Other wouldn't be partnering with you.
That's right.
So always realize that you have value, and so that's why it's important in this part of the conversation to understand that a lot of people, they fail miserably in these situations. They worst becomes their worst experience, because they walk away and basically feel used and abused because they were afraid to say, I want this because I'm bringing this to the table. I want this percentage because I'm bringing this to the table. And that's what you did.
Yes.
And that, again, you went through the paperwork, you went through the relationships, and now you have an amazing company, FM Talent, as an enterprise that valued at $15 million as staff augmentation, and you're winning. But I just want to let you know that the reason I have you on this show, because you are a role model. And in being a role model, it means that you mentor people. This show is about mentorship. This show attracts 18 to 34 millennial listeners. That's the entrepreneurship generation. And I was telling my nephew when he graduated from college recently, he was having trouble getting a job. And I sent him to an organization like yours, a staffing organization. I said, look, nobody's going to give you the job that you want right now. You need to build a resume. So hear me when I say this. Companies like FM Talent, that's not what they do full time, but they do have a division within there that does employ people temporarily and full time. When you get to these companies, you can stay there, and if they love your services, they hire you full time. That's the beauty of building your resume. Do that enough, you have a resume, and if they like you enough, you have the option to say, "No, I don't want to work for you," or you can just go back to FM Talent and say, "Look, can you find me another job?" That's what they do.
Right.
And so I just want to say thank you for coming on my show.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's amazing that that I just wanted your story to be told. I wanted to take time and tell your story. I want to tell you you're unique. You're a very powerful individual, and just keep winning. Really, really keep winning.
Thank you.
Tell us about how we get in touch with you as we go out.
Absolutely. So you can find us on social media at FM Talent Source. Our website is www.fmtalent.com, and we're on all platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. So we are